Hey everyone! Today we're talking about Zeus, the king of the Greek gods, and his seriously wild love life. Zeus was known for a lot of things, throwing thunderbolts, ruling Mount Olympus, and, well, not being the most loyal husband to Hera. In fact, his affairs were so strange that you won't believe some of the lengths he went to. Transforming into a swan and a bull, impersonating multiple people, and even turning into a golden shower, Zeus's love escapades are not especially moral. So, let's get into the top 7 most bizarre affairs of Zeus. These stories are going to blow your mind. Number 7, Zeus and Io, the cow lover. Kicking off our list at number 7, we have the story of Zeus and Io. Io was a beautiful mortal priestess of Hera, and naturally, she caught Zeus's wandering eye. Zeus, known for his clever yet convoluted disguises, transformed Io into a stunning white cow to hide her from Hera. But, not stopping there, he also blanketed the sky with thick clouds to conceal his affair. However, Hera wasn't easily fooled. Sensing something was up, she dispersed the clouds and found Zeus standing next to the beautiful cow. To avoid suspicion, Zeus gifted the cow to Hera, who, ever the suspicious wife, assigned the 100-eyed giant Argus to guard her. Zeus couldn't stand Io's captivity and ordered Hermes to rescue her. Hermes lulled Argus to sleep and then slew him, setting Io free. But the troubles didn't end there. Hera sent a gadfly to torment Io, driving her to wander the world. Eventually, Io reached Egypt, where Zeus restored her to human form, and she bore him a son, Epaphus. This tale is a classic example of Zeus's complicated and bizarre methods to pursue his desires, leaving chaos in his wake. Number 6, Zeus and Callisto, fooled into breaking her vow of chastity. Coming in at number 6 is the story of Zeus and Callisto. Callisto was a beautiful nymph and a devoted follower of Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. As part of her devotion, Callisto had taken a vow of chastity, pledging to remain untouched by any man. But Zeus, notorious for his relentless pursuits, had his eye on her. To get close to Callisto, Zeus used his cunning and transformed himself into Artemis, whom Callisto admired and trusted deeply. Believing she was in the presence of her beloved goddess, Callisto let her guard down. In this guise, Zeus took advantage of her trust and seduced her, resulting in her becoming pregnant. Callisto's pregnancy did not go unnoticed. When Artemis discovered Callisto's condition, she felt deeply betrayed by what she perceived as a broken vow. Despite Callisto's pleas, Artemis expelled her from her group of nymphs. Things took a darker turn when Hera, Zeus's jealous wife, learned of the affair. Enraged, Hera transformed Callisto into a bear, condemning her to roam the forest in this form. Years passed, and Callisto, still a bear, encountered her son Arcas, who had grown into a skilled hunter. Unaware that the bear was his mother, Arcas prepared to strike her down. To prevent this tragic turn of events, Zeus intervened at the last moment, sweeping both Callisto and Arcas into the sky. They were immortalized as constellations, with Callisto becoming Ursa Major, the Great Bear, and Arcas becoming Ursa Minor, the Little Bear. This celestial placement ensured that mother and son would be together for eternity, circling the North Pole and reminding us of this bizarre and heartbreaking myth. Number 5, Zeus and Ganymede, the eagle abduction. At number 5, we have the story of Zeus and Ganymede. Ganymede was a handsome Trojan prince whose beauty caught the eye of Zeus. Unlike many of his other affairs, this one involved a young mortal boy rather than a woman. Zeus decided that Ganymede's beauty was so extraordinary that he deserved to be among the gods. To bring Ganymede to Olympus, Zeus transformed himself into a giant eagle. One day, as Ganymede was tending his father's sheep on Mount Ida, Zeus swooped down, snatched him up in his powerful talons, and carried him off to the heavens. Once in Olympus, Zeus made Ganymede his cupbearer, granting him immortality and eternal youth. This position was highly prestigious, as Ganymede was now responsible for serving nectar and ambrosia to the gods. While this might seem like a dream come true, the abduction left Ganymede's father, King Tros, heartbroken. To console him, Zeus sent Hermes to deliver a message, promising that Ganymede would live a life of eternal honor among the gods. Number 4. Zeus and Alcmene, the ultimate husband swap. At number 4, we have the story of Zeus and Alcmene. Alcmene was a beautiful mortal woman, married to Amphitryon, a distinguished general. Her loyalty to her husband was unwavering, but Zeus had other plans. While Amphitryon was away at war, Zeus decided to seduce Alcmene by taking on the appearance of her husband. He visited her, disguised as Amphitryon, and spent the night with her. To make the most of his time, Zeus extended the night to 3 times its normal length, ensuring his success in winning her over. When Amphitryon returned the next day, he was confused and surprised to find Alcmene greeting him as if he had just come back from battle. It didn't take long for Amphitryon to realize something unusual had happened. Eventually, the truth about Zeus's deception came to light. As a result of this encounter, Alcmene became pregnant with Heracles, who would grow up to become one of the greatest heroes in Greek mythology, known for his incredible strength and his famous 12 labors. Despite the deception and the initial confusion, Alcmene raised Heracles with great care, and he became a legendary figure, revered for his heroic deeds and adventures. Number 3. Zeus and Leda, the Swan. At number 3, we have the story of Zeus and Leda. Leda was the queen of Sparta, married to King Tyndareus. Her beauty caught the attention of Zeus, who was determined to be with her. Zeus, always coming up with unusual ways to pursue his desires, transformed himself into a swan. One day, while Leda was by the river, Zeus, in the form of the swan, approached her. He made it look like he was being chased by an eagle. Seeking to protect the swan, Leda took him into her arms. It was then that Zeus revealed his true identity and seduced her. As a result of this union, Leda laid 2 eggs. From these eggs hatched 4 children: Helen, who would later become known as Helen of Troy, Clytemnestra, and the twins Castor and Pollux. The story of Leda and the Swan has been depicted in countless works of art and literature, cementing its place as one of the most memorable myths involving Zeus. Number 2. Zeus and Europa, the bull. Next up at number 2 is the story of Zeus and Europa. Europa was a Phoenician princess whose beauty captivated Zeus. Not one to be straightforward, Zeus transformed himself into a magnificent white bull and mingled with her father's herd. One day, while Europa and her friends were gathering flowers, the gentle and beautiful bull approached them. Enchanted by the bull's beauty and gentle demeanor, Europa climbed onto its back. Seizing the opportunity, Zeus, in the form of the bull, dashed across the sea, carrying Europa away to the island of Crete. On Crete, Zeus revealed his true identity and seduced Europa. She became the mother of 3 sons: Minos, who would become the legendary king of Crete and the judge of the dead; Rhadamanthus, who also became a judge of the dead; and Sarpedon, a hero of the Trojan War. To honor Europa, Zeus placed the shape of a bull among the stars, creating the constellation Taurus. Additionally, the continent of Europe was named after her. Number 1. Zeus and Danaë, the Golden Shower. Topping our list at number 1 is perhaps the most bizarre and famous of Zeus's affairs: his encounter with Danae. Danae was the daughter of King Acrisius of Argos, who had been warned by an oracle that his grandson would one day kill him. To prevent this, Acrisius locked Danae away in a bronze chamber deep underground, where she would be unable to have any children. However, Zeus was determined to be with Danae. Using one of his most unique transformations, he turned himself into a shower of golden rain. And no, not the kind you're imagining. This golden shower was actually Zeus turned into liquid gold. The golden rain slipped through the tiny cracks and openings of the chamber, falling into Danae's lap. This miraculous event led to her becoming pregnant with Zeus's child. Danae gave birth to Perseus, who would go on to become one of the greatest heroes in Greek mythology. When King Acrisius discovered the child, he was horrified and cast Danae and the infant Perseus into the sea inside a wooden chest. Miraculously, they survived and were eventually rescued by a kind fisherman named Dictys, who took them in and raised Perseus. Perseus would grow up to achieve legendary feats, including slaying the Gorgon Medusa and rescuing Andromeda from a sea monster. Despite King Acrisius's efforts to prevent the prophecy, it ultimately came true. Years later, Perseus accidentally killed Acrisius with a discus, fulfilling the oracle's warning. And there you have it, the top 7 most bizarre affairs of Zeus. These stories give us a glimpse into how strange and often dark Greek mythology can be. If you want to learn more about mythology, be sure to check out the links in the description. And don't forget to subscribe for more mythology stories. Thanks for watching.